Hey y'all, welcome back to Let's Talk Sis with your girl Tameca, a podcast for us by us. So I just want to let y'all know about my platforms as I always do. So y'all can catch me on TikTok. I've been doing it big on TikTok lately, y'all. Add me, girl.
Oh, she got some friends. She got some friends.
So on TikTok, I think you can find me at Tameca Howell, TamecaHowell. But I think I tried to minimize it to Tameca 8, like I do with everything. Instagram is Tameca 8. My Facebook is Tameca Howell, same spelling. My Yahoo is TamecaHowell@yahoo.com. What else I got? That's all I got. Instagram. Oh, and Central City Radio.
There
y'all
you go.
link in under the Venus station. Y'all can get my podcast. I'm on YouTube under Central City, but I also have started my own YouTube. It's one video on there, but I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to do some big things because I want to get this information out. So I'm just let my guests introduce themselves right now.
It's your man 50 Grand back again, Mr. Convo. It's Mr. Convo 585 on Instagram, Mr. Convo on Facebook, TikTok, Flip the Convo. Yeah, TikTok going in over here too. You know, I ain't even really do nothing, and got a couple responses. I wanted to say thanks to everybody for chopping in on that. And we gonna let the next guest introduce herself. We have a special guest this day, and we gonna go in.
Hi, my name is Keonza Phillips. I go by Key. I'm from Chicago. I'm 28. My Instagram is Key, Ke _ Diamond, but with a Y, so DYAMOND. My Facebook is Key Ambitious, so Ambitious AMBITIOUS. I'm new here. Been here for a year, and I'm excited to be here.
In the Phoenix, because they may not know where we at, but we in the, how they be like, we in the ATL, we in the Phoenix, y'all.
We in Phoenix, Arizona.
Listen.
It feel like an oven out here. It's 188 degrees outside.
It's hot, but y'all knew what it was when y'all came to this mug. So listen, y'all not finna talk about my city at all.
The dust been tearing up my legs, man. What's going on out here?
Listen, that's what's wrong with my allergies,
No, I ain't gonna lie. I love the heat. Chicago, when they cold come, it's really cold, and I always get irritated by that. So when I moved out here, it was like perfect for me.
Yeah, that's what's
Any
up.
cold I feel, it like touch my bones. So for real, and I hate it.
And
it's
you can't do nothing with the heat. At least you could get in some AC, take some clothes outside.
Yeah, for sure.
So tap in, sis. How was your week?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Listen, you know what? I remember we was talking about mental health, and I was trying to get my head in the game on the way here, but I'm overwhelmed. I'm very overwhelmed. I'm emotionally not okay. But I'm gonna try to, keep it going. And that's today I want to talk about something that's, that has to do with that. But I ain't listen. I'm gonna be okay because I'm a soldier at the end of the day.
Yes,
you understand what I'm saying?
Sir.
But like, if I just can run down the list of things, it's some stuff going on in my life. But we ain't gonna get into all that unless it come up.
Okay.
We ain't gonna get into it unless it come up.
Right,
But yeah,
right.
I'm gonna try to. I'm in this mug though. We in this
You
piece.
stepping,
sure.
you big stepping. Got the melanin popping. You all right? Let's go.
Let's talk about y'all. What's going on with y'all this week?
Okay, so let me go ahead and just introduce this. So my name is Keonza, but I'm the founder and executive director of Precious Minds Turning Sand into Diamonds, and it's a mentoring program. I work with all ages from early childhood, 2, 3, 4 years old, all the way up to 17, and then I have a women's group, 18 and up. So I'm all about youth. I'm all about women, just prospering, growing, finding.
How your week went was my question. We
gonna
get into the.
No, I had to. I had to give it to them.
Let me plug.
I was ready. I was
Blast.
ready. No, my week has. My week ultimately has been positive, but of course, when you in that positive and high vibration, there's always negativity.
That's what's happening. It's the enemy is y'all call it vibrations. I call the enemy just come. He said, oh, sure, her feet are on the ground. Come here.
Okay.
Come here. Come all of y'all. He done called all his listen. I ain't gonna preach to y'all today. Maybe it depends. But he done called all his little archangels over here to bother me. But I already know I'm more powerful. So we'll talk about that later.
More beautiful, more powerful,
Stand
more
up in that, sister. Stand up
So
in that.
what about you?
Man, my week was okay. I ain't really have a lot going on, but I was a little lazy. I ain't getting no exercise in this week. It's just too hot. I felt like, The microwave was just open outside. The fans wasn't working. So, you know what? We're going to take a break and get back at them the next time. Okay. But, but as far as everything else, I've been just hustling, trying to grind it out, just like everybody else. You already know. Let's go.
Okay, let's.
So, listen, what y'all want to talk about?
Man, I want to talk about something that's been kind of stressing, man. I've been hearing a lot of our brothers just acting up out here, man. You know, at one point in time, they seems like they loved a certain young lady, and then when things go sour, a brother want to act crazy with the next man just because he couldn't do right. So then when somebody else come along, now you want to talk about you want to beat the girl up, kill the nigga, shoot the nigga wall up in his face. Man, don't check that dude. That nigga don't know you. For real though, let's go. Let's do something else, man. Let's let that lady go on and live her life. You did what you did. Go on and figure it out for yourself and go on and find you another lady, man. It is that simple. Another one gonna cross you in 15 minutes. I promise you. She gonna look good to you. If you man enough, speak to her. If not, let it go.
You know what? So listen, I heard you say it's that easy, but so my topic is about healing from the emotional damage, because I heard that you say that that's easy, but we've talked on this show multiple times about it ain't that easy, right? No, you ain't got to do all that. You ain't got to be
that's all
hitting
I'm
on
saying.
nobody.
You ain't got to be threatening and all that, man.
Because they are out here killing folks right now. But the deeper thing is, man, how do we get past the stuff that happened? How we gonna go? You could just go ahead and you ain't got to do all that.
It's so crazy that we even having this conversation, because I'm literally proof of what we talking about.
Yeah.
So I was in a relationship for almost 11 years, and I'm going through a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, a person cannot let go. And it's almost as if, like, we could be family, we could be friends at the end of the day, but you're making it hard because you can't accept that this chapter, this course,
has ran its
everything
course.
that we've been through is coming to an end.
Yeah.
So it's like, when you said let it go, like, I swear I was just today praying, like, for this person to just let it go.
You gotta let people live.
Let me ask you
man.
a question, sis, because me and him kind of get into this conversation. As a woman, right? Do you ever have somebody who you ain't dealt with so they want to deal with you, right? And you be politely trying to let them down, right? And you be trying to politely let them down, but they can't accept that, and they be tripping as if y'all did something. Have you had that happen?
Absolutely. And what that is, you know, that possessive, that obsession, that controlling. When people find somebody, you know, that's different from anybody else that they used to, they tend at times to cling to that, to harbor it. Like,
but it ain't, even if it ain't even there.
It's not about you though.
But so I'm just trying to clarify. So you walking by, right? I don't know, because I've had these. I'm walking by, and they be like, "Hey ma," and I say, "No, I'm not really interested, but hi." And then now it's all of a sudden this emotional response. You know, and have you had that happen before?
Yeah, but you know,
they stay
like,
calling you the B's and the C's.
Yeah, one thing I learned is that, like,
I thought so.
I value, like, the value in understanding perspectives and where people come from helps you understand better when it comes to situations like that.
I get it.
You know, when I was 16, I wouldn't have had that knowledge. But as of 28, it's like, now I understand more why people do the things they do. It had to be an experience.
And it definitely has to do with insecurity.
That's what I was going to say. As far as a man, rejection.
The insecurity comes from a place.
For sure.
Of course
it originates from somewhere.
They experience, or the thing that they've dealt with.
I think a
lot of dudes think they're just God's gift to women. Why she gonna turn me down? What you mean? You don't see all this? Like,
I am so flabbergasted.
And
then
ego.
Right now.
It's
pride.
ego. It's pride, because you know
so
you grow up hearing the word no as a dude. I'm sorry.
So, brother, are you retracting your statements? Because we done have multiple.
No, I'm not retracting my statements. I'm just saying a lot of men too get comfortable, you know, with talking to certain women a certain type of way. And sometimes, I'm just going to say it, some of the ladies, y'all make them comfortable with talking to you a certain way.
I have never made anybody.
They deal with a woman.
Right. And then when they deal with a woman, they don't know how to talk to her even when it's rejection time.
There you go.
It's like they gonna do the same thing over and over again.
I just wanted to make sure, because I just wanted you to be the breaker of the conversation, because
I ain't gonna retract my statement.
But you have to, because you're saying exactly what I said. So you're so really. What the conversation is that somebody ain't gonna act like that unless you gave them a space to act like that.
No, it's all about what.
But you explain in a different situation.
No, I'm not.
If a person not willing to accept that it's over, if they're not willing to accept that the chapter has closed, you're gonna receive that type of energy. Because it's a denial in their mind.
Let's just go back to, and I get that. Let's just go back to, have you ever rejected someone and it wasn't even a chapter to be closed? You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, right. So no history, you saying?
It could be no history. It could be history. It could be history, no history. It could be history from 2 years ago. Men have a problem with you saying no to them.
Rejection
period.
For men, like we were just saying, ego. Pride.
I get it. Men have every man. No man wants to.
So when a woman that they feel like that they can reject them, it's deeper than what we know.
I don't think nobody likes the word no.
Yeah, but it's deeper than what we know.
I mean, you just proving all my points. Just so I'm proving.
Listen, it had to take courage. You know what I'm saying? For them to even present themselves to you. Because you never know what a man's insecurity is. So it took courage to even present. So when they get rejected, the way it makes them feel, the way it makes them think,
all of that makes sense to me. All of that, I understand. All of it makes sense, because anytime anybody feels some type of way, it doesn't matter, man, woman, child, adult, anytime they feel some type of way, that's not, especially if somebody didn't do anything to trigger that. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That has to do with
within.
Whatever within. And you have to, and that's let's come to this emotional damage stuff. So here's my topic.
Okay.
Right? So here's my topic. I want to know, so what I am finding in the world, right, is that we have so much stuff. I've been listening to some of your YouTube.
Thank you.
You've been talking about childhood trauma.
Absolutely.
And you don't know that we talk about that almost every time we get on the mic. We talk
so
about
prevalent.
Some things that happened as we were growing up, and as people grow up, and we talk about these children a lot. But I think that when we're going through some situations, that we sometimes don't understand that we're bringing into this baggage, right? And sometimes we hold on to it way longer than we need to hold on to it, because the only way to get over hurt excuse me, the only way to get over hurt is to actively do something about it. Does that make sense?
Effectively.
Because something that my mama always tell me is that time passes, but that doesn't mean that you got over anything. That
don't mean you healed.
So she said if you close your eyes and you can feel that hurt just like it was that day that it happened, then that's not healing.
One thing I want to say is that emotional damage, I feel like there's physical, there's verbal, and people always say like verbal abuse is worse than physical, which is true, but people never talk about the emotional.
Men weren't taught how to talk about their emotions. Men weren't raised to talk about their emotions. Men was basically, to me, I feel like us men was raised to be workers. So we know how to work. We know how to do about the schedule. We know how to do this. We know how to do that.
Little boys, if they cried,
but
if they cried, hold on,
that's
let me finish my
go ahead, girl.
If they fought, just let me finish it. But if they were they not called that when we were growing up? Remember they used to call the little boys punks if they cried and said you acted like a little girl and all that stuff. So that's part of, right?
But too, we have to also, like, because when you said that, I had to be mindful. When you said what you said, it made me mindful of the age bracket too. Like, our experiences cater to age bracket. Like, what you went through as coming a kid was different from mine. It's all about generation.
Y'all wasn't told you the age of my kids.
No, what y'all I'm saying, but the experience is different because the mindset, the technology, everything enhances. The question is, was boys able to grow up and cry and speak their emotions? I know boys that was, and I know boys that wasn't. But just like people that was born in the 60s, 70s, 80s, they could say the same thing. I know boys that wasn't, and boys that was. So that's what I'm saying. Like, age bracket matter because it's like the upbringing. All of it matters. Yeah, all of it matters. It's the upbringing. Like, but there's always. 1980s. I'm born 1990s, and we had a different perspective
because
of our upbringing. So that's why I say generations do matter.
Generations do matter, but we have there is some things that have been passed down from generation to generation to generation. Even now, boys are still not supposed to cry. Even now, boys are still supposed to be stronger. Even now, and it's cool if there's a amount of ones that have not, but the majority of in our community, what we're telling people is that boys are supposed to be strong. Even women, we be like, oh, look at that punk over there because he over there all what the homeboys be saying, oh, he in love with her and he got some stuff to say. And these are still in these as I'm watching my son grow up, he's 17, and I'm watching, and I don't, of course I be like, cry it out, listen, tell what you have to tell, but they still are getting that same thing right now.
Honestly, I ain't even gonna lie. If it get to the point where I'm crying, that's a whole different emotion.
That's
for me.
Another level.
For me, that's and I think is should be judged by person because everybody has their breaking point and a lot of things mean a lot of different things to everybody. And I'm just saying with men in general, and I can only speak from my perspective and the men I grew up in my community. These were men. These weren't no we gonna sit in the corner and cry. No, we either
but that's not what you ain't gotta sit in the corner and cry.
But what I'm saying is, they wasn't talkers. They weren't telling everybody what their business is. They wasn't even saying what they was feeling.
How does that
what they did do was they took it out in a different way amongst the community.
Way? How?
Different. Everybody handled that different.
Can you give me some examples?
Myself, I played sports. Me myself, I played sports.
Okay.
Other people took it out in a violent way.
Exactly, and that's our story.
And that's what we not supposed to do. We need to be trying to teach different ways on how to handle that.
When I say cry, I'm really not. That's just what they used to say to us.
I'm
telling you, we need to have a way to let go of our emotions instead of stuffing them. So what you always talk about the majority of people, you say I was different, right? So therefore that means the majority of the people that you was around that you call men, they were taking it out in a way that was not getting us was not productive. But is what you hold on.
Yeah, I'm listening, girl.
No, let me just say, because I want him to say that, because you always talk about that all the time.
But what I'm saying is,
is that the way we should take it out?
Each man I dealt with taught me how to get out my emotions in a different way. Because each person wasn't taught that.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
But that's the point of us, what we're talking about
that's
today.
what I'm trying to tell you right now.
Having to understand that
we have to teach a different way, but sometimes that teaching, you can teach, and that person still takes that learning into a different context because they still got to go out there and learn and live their own experiences.
I keep emphasizing upbringing. I keep emphasizing where you come from. All of that caters to how a person thinks. Like, we all have different perspectives. You from here? Where you from?
I'm from Rock, New York.
Exactly. And I'm from Chicago. We're gonna have different perspectives. Like, I say this all the time because it's so crucial. And I learned through life that I can't project how I think and how I feel on the next person. I have to accept that that's where they come from.
Right.
It's a learning and growing experience.
It's not about it. So what I need y'all to hear me, because I'm not saying it's not about accepting and understanding. It's about now giving a different tool, because if we look in our community, we are not doing this well. We are not getting so I'm not saying I don't understand what you're saying, brother. I'm not saying that I don't understand what you're saying. And I'm not saying I don't understand his upbringing and all that. But at what point do we say, okay, we done tried this. We done did this way. I say all the time, if we really be honest and look into our community, that's why you're a mentor. You're a mentor because you need to give somebody some tools that wasn't given to them. That's what mentor does.
Exactly.
Right?
Giving tools that I want to receive.
Exactly.
Sure.
So, of course, it's about upbringing. But sometimes we got to look and say, you know what, that might not have been.
But everybody not willing, receptive. They're not receptive of that.
They not. And that's why that's not the person that's they're not receptive to it maybe at that time. You know what I'm saying? But we got to understand that sometimes the way we have learned to do something may not have been the way that.
But you have to be exposed to something new.
That's all I'm talking about right now.
That's why y'all doing what y'all doing. That's why I do what I do, because I don't care what the dynamic is between me and you. As long as you reaching people and it's positively to help people grow, I'm with you. It don't matter what the dynamic is, because the more people that's exposing, the more people that is giving knowledge, passing things on, their knowledge. The more people that's saying like, okay, this ain't right. This ain't the right thinking. Let's expose. We have to expose.
I feel like that's what's happening now, and then we keep talking about this is why, and I get it, right? But what do we want to expose them to now?
I think the solution, the solution needs to be that men who are men need to start teaching men.
Yeah.
You need to start being nicer to the ladies. We need to start gathering as men and women, black people, and stop all this division between us. Mm-hmm. Because
that's men
teaching about. Is that I think men, that's what we're supposed to do. Yeah. We're supposed to teach and provide and show and show how things go. And we're supposed to do it in a way that's respectable. So when a young boy growing up is looking at this, he can say, okay, well, I can see how happy this person is. I can see what it does to this person. I can see the smile over here. Maybe this is the avenue I need to take, and then put my own spin on it. Period. And a lot, we just have to bring it together. All this division between black men and black women. We the only race that are divided like that. Mm-hmm. It's like we got all these problems between each other and no solutions. But the problem is we so angry about how all this started. Okay, we angry. Okay, let's wash this anger off and figure out some things for us. Because if we don't, I hate to say it, we're going to be the first extinct or second extinct population on Earth. And that's crazy. To wipe everything away, to wipe all our history away. They already trying to do that in the books anyway. And we going to sit here and help them in our communities, in our streets, and in our personal lives? Come on, y'all. Let's get this together.
It's all about just growth.
Understanding. We doing all this talking.
Do you want
all this talking?
Do you not? Because if
you won't change
growth,
or not,
your mindset is going to expand. Anytime you want growth, if you want it, that means that you're going to take actions to get it.
Do you think growth and change are closely related to each other?
Only reason I feel like growth and change is closely related because of my own experience. I can't speak for nobody else, but my own experience taught me that wanting to grow
will cause some change.
Not cause. It made me grow.
That's what I'm saying. It will cause it.
Made me.
So when somebody say when anybody thinks that they're gonna get to a certain level of growth or change is when they stop growing and changing.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Like you have to always say that I'm gonna do something different. It's always a way that I could be better in myself. Does that make sense? Yeah. I could be better in myself. And sometimes those experiences come, those epiphanies come from listening to like something else, like somebody outside, because inside of us, sometimes inside of us, awareness. You be like, sis, you bad
Bama jamma, because you doing
because he don't like that bad. You a bad
Bama jamma.
But then somebody come and say, this is something that I appreciate about my mother. She be like, but what else?
Period.
What else?
It never dies. It never stops.
And I talk about my mama a lot just because I've seen her grow. I've seen her change. I watch my dad and my mom change and grow. And that is a continuous process that is never something that you are always reinventing yourself. You can have these core pieces of you, but it's always a different like growth in you that can happen. So here we go. Emotional damage. So because we agree, right? Can we agree that we have all probably experienced something that damaged us emotionally? Absolutely. And we fighting to get out of that?
Absolutely.
The first thing that I wrote down was be yourself, man. The first thing, because sometimes when we get emotionally damaged, we lose ourselves in the process. You understand what I'm saying? Every time when I used to counsel, it was like I lost myself somewhere. Right. So I think that when you first come out of this thing and you be hurt, but start writing down like, what's my wants? What are my boundaries this time? What kind of clothes do I like? How do I want my hair done? What foods do I like? You got to get back to knowing who you are.
Yeah, because we spend so much time.
I feel like that's ultimately self-love.
That's what we're talking about. Self-love.
Because when you reach that peak, like it's one thing to just be on a journey. But when you reach that peak of self-love and what it means and the impact that it has on your life, you will never let it go. You will never let it go because you realize that you're growing, you're evolving, and your mindset is changing from who you used to be.
And I think at that time, I mean, that's a statement.
And we try to take old people with us that we know don't mean
that's
us
what I was
no
gonna
good.
say.
Everybody
that's what I was
ain't
saying,
meant to go on that next
because
ride.
sometime in
Let
that
it go.
self-love, you can love yourself. I know this has happened to me. I've been on this journey a couple of times, and you kind of let somebody sneak in. And no matter how you be like, I love Tameca.
Yeah.
And then I be like, then a couple of months later, you be like, well, how did I get? Wait a minute. And you might take yourself back at that time. When you create self-love, it's easier to take yourself back if you don't have it at all. You understand what I'm saying? But we do have to get to a point where we say, hold up, I ain't taking that person on my journey. Like you said, you know what I'm saying? Man. So I think
that's the hardest.
Everybody ain't meant to go.
That's the hardest. I've literally before I even came here, I've had several conversations about this. And when you told me, when I met you and you had texted me, divine connections, I truly believe in that. I truly believe in that only because that when you connect with a person, it's a purpose for that. You know what I'm saying? And I've literally had conversations with people not knowing how to let go or not knowing what they actually feel. Not knowing that it's even emotional damage.
And I think that, and I think sometimes you got to know when... this is something I'm having a conversation with myself right now. I'm just going to be honest. I always know there's a season for something, and sometimes it's just a small season, a long season, and sometimes some of the people in my life right now, or the things that I think that I need to be doing, maybe that season is over. Maybe I was just there to help that person get to this place or to that place, or they were supposed to help me to get to that place, and then now in the reinventing of myself, is that person? Am I still supposed to be there? You understand what I'm saying?
But you're not.
Are they supposed to be there?
We all come into each other's lives for a person. Like they say, a lesson, a blessing. You know, it's something of why we connect with people. It's a learning experience, ultimately.
For me, I think... For me, I can only speak from my experience. A lot of times, for me, I think I've met a lot of people because I need to get that 409 out and start the cleaning. Get them old, bones out of there. Get them old feelings out of there. Get that old time out of there. Because a lot of times we be just stuck on the time we spent with that person. Oh, I wasted this. I did that. You know what? Wash all that I did out. And it might just be easier for you to do what you need to do.
So you're talking about my next point is get a grip on your mind, right?
Listen.
So I think that I think sometimes that we have to learn how to catch those thoughts, right? Because even there are some people that agree. We've been together, like you said, you were married for this long, and sometimes we can dwell on. Well, we don't even really dwell on the good stuff. We dwelling on the bad stuff. Like this person did this person did that, and now I just don't trust anybody. I don't trust this person. I don't trust that. So we catch our thoughts and be careful of our patterns, right? Absolutely. You have to be able to say, "Hey, wait a minute. Everybody ain't the same."
Absolutely,
you understand?
But it's a learning experience.
It is definitely
when you go through trauma, that's something that comes with you for a lifetime. Anybody that real trauma, if you really impacted,
I know what real trauma is.
No, I'm saying if you really impacted by something, it will carry with you for a long time.
But it doesn't have to affect. Oh, there you go. Till you heal. I was
exactly.
Because you can heal. Because you can heal
until you heal.
If this trauma is still with you years and years later, you is not healed.
You're not
healed.
If you still elaborate on the past, you're not healed. If you're not trying to see what the future holds for your purpose, your life, like if you're not trying to see, like, dang, this maybe in the future it could be something so great, but you have to get to that point. So
I think that when you talk about
you gotta take your time too, though. You can't just be jumping out there all willy nilly doing, you know what I mean? Trying to ride every umbrella that look good, feel good.
No, not jumping out there, but it's
you feel content.
Yeah, but see too. But are you really moving on, or are you still hurting yourself?
No, but what you have to do, what you do have to jump out and do is jump out and be active about your healing.
Yes.
And that can happen.
Yes.
That needs to happen immediately. mentally.
I
The
agree
longer
with
you
that.
the longer you dwell
I
in the hurt and the pain of it, it's gonna take you that long to get over it. It really don't have to be that long to get over a not saying that you ain't
You're
gonna
right.
never
You
feel
so
it.
right. Keep going,
But you
girl.
have to really for real actively. When I really got healed, let me tell y'all, I sat in the closet every day.
Period.
Every day for hours.
Which part?
Crying.
With the clothes or with the
Period.
pants?
Crying.
All my clothes was in there. I had a walk in. Let me tell y'all when I had a little pallet in that mud. But I used to but what God didn't allow me to dwell and do, he said you can ruminate for a minute.
Period.
And then now I need you to break. I had affirmations all over the place. I'm not hurt. Girl. I'm not feeling this way. He no. And there is somebody for me. You understand? Because I done wrote all the men off. Like, nah. But I learned that, what people do is we dwell and we keep our mind on the wrong thing. You got to refocus your mind on something else. And you can't, if you always bring, here's something that I need people to understand. Whatever word you put out in the atmosphere is the word you're gonna get back. People be like, I got PTSD. Yes, you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you got PTSD.
But what are you
I don't
do
trust
about it though?
So now the word should be, I do not have PTSD. Those things didn't affect me, and I'm gonna keep on being the best that I can be. Those are what affirmations do.
Let me share something with y'all, because that point right there just triggered something in me. When I was diagnosed with bipolar and depression at the age of 12.
Me too. They tried.
And I was taking medication all the way up to I was 17. And when I got 17, something told me, like, I don't know, something came over. I just knew that in order to grow, to heal and all that, I didn't need medication, because I already knew what that medication made me feel like. So with that being said, it's almost as if, like, it's all about self. If
people would know, so we work in the mental health field, and I tell people this all the time, those diagnoses come from trauma. Absolutely. So if you go, so anytime we talk about healing in mental health, we talk about lifestyle change, and they try to put medication on it. But if you change your lifestyle and you go to, we talk about counseling as well, and you really for real heal that, because bipolar is an extreme high and extreme depression. You just spiraling. That's all what bipolar is. People like it's mood swings, and everybody got mood swings.
But it's really about, and you fall and
first you feel good, and all of a sudden all the thoughts come down, and now you depressed. That is an emotional damage, right? Absolutely. So what if you start to get a hold of your mind? Absolutely. Right? So here's I got 2 more points, and then I'm done with y'all. Forget the past.
Period.
That's hard.
Period.
Don't ruminate on it. It's hard, but
it's doable.
It's very doable, and as long as you say it's hard, it's gonna be hard.
But you know what?
I can conquer.
You can conquer it, but you still gotta step how you step. I don't know what that means. You know you're gonna step how you step. You know you're gonna be cautious. You know you're just not gonna jump out there. It's just like when you first learn how to take a shower. When you first learn how to take a shower, and you try to get that water by yourself because your mama done gave you the confidence to take that shower. You put your finger in there and it just ain't right. When you
say step how you step, brother, though, and I know this of you in that thing. How about step how you not used to stepping? You understand what
Sometimes
I'm saying?
That's difficult.
How can we step? It is always difficult, but nothing that is worth
it's
having
not
is
impossible.
Ever not difficult. But when you tell yourself that it's difficult,
I ain't saying the journey ain't gonna be worth it, but. You know what I'm saying? Some things just difficult.
So here's what I wrote down. Here's what God put on my heart. When you have a secret attachment to misery, you continue to allow yourself to live in that misery, right? When you continue to live in that, I don't even know if I wanted the word. I was trying to figure out the feeling, because he gave me a feeling, but not a secret attachment to it. But when you have an attachment to the pain, right, and you continue to talk about it, it keeps you in that pain. But when you use real energy to let it go, the real energy, you understand what I'm saying? So when you was learning how to play basketball, and you had some weak areas at that time, areas of opportunity, you kept on trying to make sure, hey, what I'm gonna practice is this. I'm gonna practice my 3-point, left hand layup. Was that it? So I'm gonna practice that over and over and over and over. And how many days a week did you practice that?
Man, 7 days a week.
How many times a day?
Thousands.
So when you take this and practice it the same way, you get the same results. So now I be hearing you talk about how you was the bomb diggity.
Hey, the jump shot was pure.
But was it because you took the time? You understand what I'm saying? You didn't say, I'm going to step how I step. So I'm gonna take me a minute to do that. Did you do that? Or hold up. Did you do that? Or did you say, you know what, they ain't going, I'm going to master this thing. You understand what I'm saying? You take that same diligence with emotional healing.
You want me to tell you the truth? I didn't take that step. I dwelled in it for a minute.
How long was a minute? 3 years?
No, I did I did it about 2 weeks, honestly. I did it about 2 weeks, and then when I figured out, the conversation and the film and everything was just to help me grow, I still was able to like you said, I still was able to get back out there and work on my craft.
So you understand what I'm saying? 2 weeks, 2 weeks ain't bad. That's not bad. A small rumination.
I did dwell, but after a while, I was like, you know what? Do you want to play basketball? Or do you want to
get healed, or do you want to be unhealed?
You know
so here comes the last point that God gave me. And I put them out of order, but I see how they flow now. So I was telling about forget the past, right? We have this thing say people will say, I'll forgive, but I don't forget. The problem is not forgetting about it. Like, I'm going to tell you something. When I first started getting healed, all my childhood used to be fresh on my mind. Mm-hmm. And I remember when I got healed, I was like, I don't even remember. People be asking me, like, okay, I had kids at 14 and 15 and I was molested, right? I don't think about that ever. Unless I'm trying to talk to somebody and I'll be like, oh yeah, I did go there. Because when you are healed, like you were saying, sister, when you are healed, you ain't got to keep on living that thing over and over and over again.
That's how you know when you're hurt. When you still stuck on the past, still bringing up the past. The past happened. There's nothing that we can do about that. Mm-hmm. And I feel you on that, And it's just like, when you grow that strength, when you grow that self-worth, when you believe in your self-worth, your self-love, and you realize that you're at a point where you can just let it go. It brings you so many blessings.
I got a question off that. I'm going to let y'all finish your statement, but I got a real deep question for that. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Sister. So my question is, after you go through all the pain, after you go through all the healing, let's say you are healed, and let's just say you do move on, and you just, and now, when you get back out there, does that change how you step? Does that make you be a bit more careful?
Not really.
It don't make you mindful of.
Does it make you hold on
the healing? But it's like you grow passion.
Does it make you take a little bit more time? To make sure you're doing the things that the things you want to do instead of always doing what you think is right.
How about let me just say how I hear you. I think you're saying it. I think that when you are stepping, like you are stepping kind of like, it's almost like you're still operating in hurt when you say, wait, I don't really know if I trust that person. I don't really know if that's what I'm seeing. I don't really know. Because when you healed, what you'll understand is it's freer. It'd be like, sister, we good. Because I'm healed. If I had an issue with women, I'm good. I don't have to be like, let me look and see what she's doing because I'm healed. You know what I'm saying? When you are what am I trying to say? Like circumvently, I think is what the word is. When you are tiptoeing around it, that might not be healed, brother. That might be. Now, do you always should be cautious? Yes, because people are people. Yeah. But when you are eggshell walking, is that what you call it? When you eggshell walking, I'll tell you, for me, that's not when I was like, I don't know what they gonna do.
But it was
still attached to my hurt.
That's not
when
peace.
I finally got healed, when I first got healed, I wanted to touch people and be like, touch that and feel that, because that is a peace that I've never been in. That's a healing that I've never been in. So one other thing that I also that we talked about, what I want to talk about is, and you can live in that every day. You can forgive people immediately every day. I always tell you, I don't hold grudges. It'd be like, let's get over this. Let's talk about it and be done with it. I'm not going to be over here. Because listen, first of all, that energy takes way
too much out of you.
Ouch. And it hurts.
Yeah.
Negativity does not feel, it hurts.
It don't feel good
it's
at all.
It's almost like the room. Y'all know you walk in the room, somebody been arguing and you like,
Because I always tell people it's a domino effect, and what I believe in, I'm trying to create positive chain reactions. I might have said that to y'all, but to create positive chain reactions. Just how negative energy can impact everybody in the room. And if we take that same energy and we make it positive, imagine what that can do.
Yeah. Listen, so then that goes into the next thing, love and be loved. So what emotional damage does is stop you from loving
And being
and
loved.
and giving and being loved. It stops you. It makes you not want to do things that are natural. You know, I hear a lot of people saying, I ain't like that. I don't do that. I ain't doing that. But God made us a love. There is no way that you can be healed and not operate in love. I love people. So I be loving people to my core to where I be so mad at people because they don't love me that same way. And I one time we was talking on here and he said, but you can't expect people to love you the way I'm not expecting people to love me the way I love. I'm expecting them to love the way they love, but love me as deeply as I love them.
But if they haven't gone through that process,
I get it.
They would never be able to love you the way you love because you went through the growth. You went through the self-reflection.
And I know.
You went through the enhancement. You went through everything that
Okay.
you needed to do. I promise you, your mindset, everything you telling me lets me know that you went through spiritual growth. You went through self-love. You went through everything that you need to go through to even have that mindset.
And I know that.
Like
and I think what I gotta do is in my personal relationships, I have to get somebody that operates in that same energy because I'm gonna always feel empty,
match your love,
There it
match
is.
your loyalty.
emotionally empty.
I thought the person I was with, like I told y'all, I thought this was my perception on what that was.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it caused me so much hurt, it caused me so much pain, I went through so much trauma with that situation. I didn't know if it was for me or not. All I knew was that I wanted something better, you know?
So I think that, you know, when we talk about trauma and hurt and pain, I think in my current situation, sometimes I talk about I'm hurt, but the person isn't doing something like traumatic to me or nothing.
It's a trigger.
It's just
trauma.
What's happening. No, what's happening is I'm not receiving as much as I put out, or I'm not feeling the love that I feel like I deserve, and that ain't that person's fault. You understand what I'm saying? And sometimes you gotta to remember, you know, who you are, and I deserve to be loved, right?
Absolutely.
So I think that when you love and be loved, when you let that stuff, because my mama might be listening, when you let that stuff go, you are happier, you are warmer, you are better.
Absolutely.
You live longer. It's just a place that I enjoy being in. I enjoy loving. I enjoy being around people. I enjoy that. And I remember before healing, I couldn't even be emotionally connected to, I couldn't sexually connect to somebody.
Period.
I couldn't, you better not touch me because that was weird. And
Absolutely.
I couldn't even be sympathetic or empathetic. You understand what I'm saying?
Ooh.
There was no attachment to people because I was so hurt by people.
Ooh.
And so what I want people to get out of it today, y'all, about emotional damage, I want y'all to be yourself. Mm-hmm. And when you figure out what that self is, invent that person that you want to be. You understand what I'm saying? I want y'all to get a grip on your mind and forget about the past, man.
And never give
people
up.
be always trying
Clean
to
out
talk
that
about
old sauce.
the past is what made me. No, the past, if it didn't make you to be something good, then you might need to
I
forget
don't agree
about
with that statement. I hate when people say that the
No,
past
made you. Yeah.
That past didn't made you. That trauma made you.
Yeah. See, that's what we might need.
That trauma.
trauma
made
in
So
the
then,
past,
because if we
for
say
sure.
it like that, then maybe we'll change how we.
gotta
I just want to say
flip
this.
it.
I love y'all mentality.
You gotta flip it
Because
man.
I'm not only like I'm going in my growing process, but it just expands like other people. It just make me feel good to know other people's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
I appreciate that because
I
it took
appreciate
me
that
a
too.
long time to get here.
And
So
and it's so crazy.
I'm still
girl,
growing.
So
when you said it's so crazy because when you text me divine connections,
that's all it's about, sis.
I promise you that's all it's about.
So listen, we done talked on Julian's radio station a little too long this time. No,
Big
but
up
what,
Central City Radio.
Look, we here.
what I want y'all to do, right? Central City Radio, y'all.
Tap in.
Key, we might need you to come back. We might need you to
Absolutely.
come
I will
back
be here no
and
matter what.
you know, don't take me no type of way because you know I like
Girl,
to debate the
I don't.
issues. Okay, good.
I
She gonna ask why.
I love your perspective. It's so different from what I'm used to. Not only does it just make me intrigued, but it helps me to understand who you are.
That's
you know?
good.
You ain't know that's Jadakiss' little sister?
Shut up.
Why?
Look, even if it is, it ain't. I see you for you.
Okay, that's
Okay?
good. So y'all go ahead and do y'all outros in this mug so we could get out of here.
You know I like to go last. Go ahead, do your outro. Go ahead.
Go
T.
ahead.
Okay, my name is Keonza. I go by Key. I'm the founder and executive director of Precious Minds, Understanding to Diamonds.
You say
I'm
that
happy.
so long, so quick every time that we
Yes.
can't get it.
Slow
You are
down.
the
Precious Minds, turning sand into diamonds.
There you go.
Yeah.
I
There you
do
go.
say it so fast.
I can't
but
never hear
yes,
it.
that's what I stand for. That's what I'm about. But I love just being in environments where we have thoughts and we
Okay.
have feelings and we have perspective.
I like
and
that. She on our same stuff, just
Yes,
different words.
I love it.
Well, y'all know me. It's your girl Tameca. We will be back in this piece next week, arguing again. but it's all love. It's all love over here.
We still gonna break bread.
No, for real.
It's all love over here. So catch us on CentralCityRadio.com under Vina, the radio station Vina, and then go to podcast Let's Talk Sis. You can catch us on Central City Radio YouTube page, and then give me your TikTok, y'all. Tameca Howell, look, because I'm doing some things, and we out.
Okay, period.